Reparations are deserved for everyone who is a descendant of chattel slavery, as well as a number of other injustices, particularly in the United States, that have been supplanted upon Black Americans. Black on Black crime is not real. It's a concept that was created to further the ideology that Black people are somehow less civil, that we are savage, that we are less human, and thus require more policing, needing to be sequestered. The continued proliferation of Black on Black crime as an actual real concept is actually Black on Black crime. It is the weaponizing of Black people against Black people.
But you know what nobody is asking? Nobody is asking why and how were they so quickly able to find the funds to get to illegal immigrants, tens of thousands of dollars each to each immigrant that came to the U.S. illegally, whether in food stamps, whether in cash assistance, hotels, or what have you. They seemed to find those funds so easily for illegal immigrants, but can't seem to find it for Black Americans and reparations. Ain't nobody asking that. Ain't nobody said, not a person said that. That's my question. How is that? And let's be honest. I know Black people that have been on government assistance, welfare for decades. Literally 2, 3, 4, 5 decades. So how do we know that the United States of America isn't counting that as reparations? I don't know. It's my question. How do we know? You are watching Marjorie with Purpose. I'm not going to hold y'all. Let's get right into this hot mess of a debate with Amanda Seales. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Let's do this.
My name is Matt Nuclear.
Hello, Matt. Matt Nuclear?
Matt Nuclear, yes.
Matt Nuclear, give me a better handshake on that. Let's do it.
I appreciate having this conversation with a beautiful Black woman like yourself. This is nice, beautiful arena here. I disagree that reparations.
I just want to say she immediately begins the discussion trying to discredit the boy when he trying to be a gentleman. He like, I'm not going to shake a woman's hand like I would shake a man's. He trying to be a gentleman, but she immediately is trying to discredit the boy right out the gate before it. Silent communication. She's a very smart woman. She might be crazy, but she's, some people is crazy smart. She may not be using all the right statistics and information, but she immediately uses that handshake to emasculate the boy. Oh, you gave me a soft handshake. Give me a better handshake than that.
Are necessary. I think the most important thing that's necessary right now for the Black community would be the stopping of violence, especially Black on Black violence. I don't see how reparations is going to solve anything. You can give everyone here like a $50,000 check, especially people that are in the streets who are committing violent crimes consistently. A $50,000 check, it's not going to fix anything. It's not going to increase the median household income in the next 10 years by 10% or 20%. For example, we have the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. We prevented Chinese people from getting citizenship and even entering the country. We discriminated against them and basically put them under apartheid, even here in the United States. Yet they have the highest median household income. How is that possible? How come they don't complain and feel entitled consistently to beg for reparations and beg for this when they are killing each other 90% of the time, which is the rate that Black people kill each other, according to the FBI?
Oh, young Matt.
Yet white people are the oppressors.
I'm not sure where your education came from, but they lied to you.
Stats don't lie, though.
Statistics lie all the time. So let's start there, particularly when the statistics are coming from the sources that gain from the statistics being shown a different way. So
she immediately discredits herself, saying that statistics lie all the time. Then what are we debating? If we can't trust the numbers, what are we debating? Which, to some degree, there's some truth in that. But what are we debating if we can't trust how do we know we should trust her statistics or his statistics or anybody's stats for that matter? So, folks call themselves discrediting somebody else, but she just completely discredited herself.
If you're going to start your argument on stats don't lie, you've already lost the argument. They lie all the time. One, comparing Chinese people who are immigrants that made a choice to come to the United States and comparing the continued effort of Black people to ground themselves in a nation that continues to make impediments for them to show and live and exist in their true citizenship is a false equivalency.
I don't believe that happens at all. No one here is in.
Are you acting right now? Do you really believe this?
I'm telling the truth. There's no systemic racism that I've experienced here in America. What system is racist? I think the only racism that we've actually seen recently, systemic racism that we've seen, is the application of systemic racism against white people. The University of Western Washington, for example, has been trying to segregate dormitories using Black-only dormitories because Black people feel safer amongst each other. But they're more likely to kill each other than white people are ever to kill them. That's just the truth. You have King Von rapping about killing other Black men. Why should I think that the white man is the oppressor?
Preach.
When Black men are more likely to kill me?
Preach.
Oh my God, this is scary. You need to think about me as your mama. Do not talk to me in that fashion. So
she is insufferable is the only word you can really use for this woman. She wants to she wants to emasculate him. Oh, don't talk to me. Look at me as your mother. No, lady, you're not, but you're not my mother. I wish he would have said that, but he already knew he won the argument. So I guess there's no need to even go there with her because she knows she looking crazy. And my thing is, if systemic racism was so prevalent, so I'm not going to show the whole interview, but somewhere in the interview, she points out that she graduated from Columbia University, which was founded by King George II, of which, if you do some research, she talks a lot about colonizers. King George II, in fact, was a colonizer. She's attending a college that he founded. So if systemic racism is so prevalent, how can she even throw around her credentials when she attended a university, founded by colonizers? Interesting. But she wanted to try to discredit the boy. Talk to me like I'm your mama. He was not disrespectful to you, crazy lady. He was very respectful. He did not say anything out of pocket to you. But she's losing, so she's trying to emasculate the boy, the young man. Because he's a young man. That young brother held his own with that psycho. But let's continue.
Check that now.
Okay.
LA, we in LA, and I hope some people in here are acting. Oh, what's that on your chain?
This is corn from Israel.
Lord have mercy.
Yes, you got to go.
That's the choice that you are making for yourself.
Yes. The thing with the whole reparations thing, and I don't know, we're probably close to the same age, so maybe you can't call me.
How old are you?
I'm 32.
I'm 44.
Oh, really? Oh, you look young.
Thank you. That's what water and keeping stress out of your life will do.
Really? Mm-hmm. Liberal positions are real stressful.
By the way, I wouldn't know. I'm not a liberal. Carry on.
Well, it's a liberal position because conservatives believe in hard work. We believe in going to work and working for what you got, not asking for handouts from people who never had slaves. Some of the people that you're asking for money from never had slaves. And let's talk about the fact there were also Black people that had slaves. So if you want to talk about that, how is that fair? If I'm a white person and my family fall on the side of the Union, why should I have to pay for slaves when this whole country was never all racist? Some of the founding fathers were abolitionists, and they hated slavery. And they actually put things in the Declaration of Independence and things too, because they believed that there'll be a future where there would be a Black president one day, or that there would be people in leadership that were Black. There was people in the North who helped with the Underground Railroad and fought with the Union. So why is that fair for people who never had slaves, who fought against slavery, to have to pay for people that had slaves?
One, from my understanding, you are more interested in preserving the fairness of those who didn't have slaves than the fairness of those who are the descendants of slaves. That is priority to you than finding a fair way to accommodate those who have been the descendant of slaves.
Well, our ancestors wasn't asking for handouts. They were asking for equal opportunity. And we have equal opportunity in this country. We had a Black president, just in case you didn't know. We had a Black president and we had a Black vice president. I think she was Black. They said she was Black. I don't know. So we had a Black president, and you know who voted for that Black man? White people. Because you can't win a popular election in this country without white people. Mm-hmm. So Barack Obama is the product of white people. So let's get off this thing where, America is so racist. What's making America so racist is people that continue to talk about racism and continue to focus on racism instead of focusing on unity and bringing our country forward. People that have this liberal mindset are infecting our communities, Black people, and making us victims and not victors. I refuse to embrace a victim mentality because that's not what our grandparents and Harriet Tubman and those people fought for. They fought for equal opportunity. Do not bring up Harriet
Tubman's name in vain, baby, please.
The Lord's name in vain. The Lord's name.
Harriet Tubman was literally saving her family and others from slavery.
Yeah,
and she was actively unaliving people if they decided that they didn't want to move forward and they chose to go back. Either be free or DIE. Harriet Tubman was not playing. Okay. That black woman, whatever. That black woman was unaliving black people who chose not to move forward with their freedom. So that's why she only got to 60. Because I wonder how many people she had to unalive to get the rest of them free, so they didn't go back. Because we know what was happening and how a lot of these our people trying to run from slavery, get out of slavery, was getting caught. They was getting turned in by their own people. So this thing about black on black crime ain't real. And I want to point out, before I continue with this, if anybody has seen her interview with Shannon Sharpe, she goes on a rant about how she was at a Black Emmy party and she was rejected by the black people at the party. The black people at this party did not want her at this party. She goes on some more victimhood about how she was mistreated by all these black folks in Hollywood. And guess who the only one she talks about that came to her rescue, that protected her? A white man. And she said, he used his white privilege. Nonetheless, she was saved by a white man, Jeff Foxworthy. She gives him credit for helping her.
And she was like, that's none of my business.
Okay.
So now next year is 2019. And it was interesting because in 2018, it was packed like a dick in front of that place. In 2019, there was like nobody there. But I was at the HBO party, and every black person I saw, I would tell them, make sure you go to the Black Emmys party. Because I am about creating community, and I want us to be together.
Right.
So I pull up with my homegirl, Kathia, and Kendrick Sampson, who's on Insecure. You know the show where I don't have any friends?
Yeah.
So I pull up with Kendrick Sampson. So we get to the door, and I learned later that she just is white passing, but this is a Mexican girl, but like she looked like a white girl. Mm-hmm. Okay. So she at the door for the
Emmys.
For what kind of party?
Emmys Black Party.
There you go. So she tells us, you can go in, you can't go in. Now, I think she's talking to my friend because my friend is a realtor.
Right.
By the way, at this time, I'm hosting Bring the Funny on NBC.
Right.
There is a billboard the size of a hotel 2 blocks away with me and my co-stars on the show, Chrissy Teigen, Jeff Foxworthy, and Kenan Thompson. And can I just put a pin in this really quick to give them their props? I had a real hard time on Insecure. But I remember day one, Chrissy Teigen, we had to do rehearsals for the first day, and they had me in these stilettos, Shannon. Oh my God. Like, I would have had to go in the whirlpool. Yes, the feet were crying. And I had an injury from these fucking stilettos. And the next day, Chrissy Teigen brought a foot massage from Sharper Image and left it in my dressing room for the duration of the shoot. Like, that's the kind of people, just generous for no reason. Right? And we just had a blast. We had such a good time. And I remember Jeff Foxworthy one time, they wanted us to do this ad where we had to pass around a drink. And I don't drink, so it's like, I don't mind drinks being around, but like me pretending like I drink ain't my jive. Right. So I was like, I just don't feel comfortable doing this. Now it becomes a thing. This is how I get labeled difficult. So Jeff Foxworthy saw shit going left, and he stepped in and he said, yeah, I don't feel comfortable with it either.
Wow.
He used his fame, his white manness, he used his disposition to just take the heat off of me. He said, I got you.
So all of a sudden we're on this pro-black rant when she herself knows that all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Interesting. That's how I kind of know. That's how you kind of know this is just for clicks. This is just for publicity. Just to hear herself, just see herself talk, because she really has no basis for her debate. She has no credibility. If anybody saw that Shannon Sharpe episode with her entire interview was complaining about how black people did her wrong.
You know who helped her? White people.
You know who helped her?
They were on the Underground Railroad.
No. You know who helped her?
Come on in.
No, you know who helped her?
God and
people who benefit from white supremacy. One of the things
good Lord. And she's full of crap because those white people knew that if they got caught helping get black folks set free, that they too would be hung, that they would be treated just as badly, if not worse, than the people that they were trying to help. So she talking about benefited from white supremacy, that they knew that was not the case, because if that were the case, they wouldn't have to hide that they were helping these people through the Underground Railroad. The Quakers, who were Christians. Do your history. Do some history research. The Quakers, who were Christians, were some of the main people working the Underground Railroad, helping the African descendants get through and out of slavery. When, again, many of the reason why a lot of Black folks were not able to get set free because their own people were turning them in. Overseers. What do people think overseers were? Overseers were Black people they used to watch over the slaves in the fields to make sure they don't run and to go hunt them down. And a lot of slaves didn't want to be free. A lot of slaves wanted to stay on the plantations because they were being treated so good and they didn't want to have to go out and fight for their own land and property and all that stuff. So a lot of Black people chose to stay in slavery. They don't talk about that. Black folk want to be the victim.
White supremacy is a lie.
No, sir, that's simply not true. If that were not the case, then we wouldn't see the continued effort of colonialism and white people placing themselves in positions of power when they do not have the power.
Because their culture, Black culture, is toxic. The Black culture is toxic. We have produced a culture that is toxic. And let's get on the fact that there's no fathers in the Black culture. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
None of this is gonna work if y'all are just gonna sit here and make up shit.
She is she crazy. She is like, if y'all just making up stuff. Like, lady, you can walk outside and see. This is girl. She is in denial. She's in denial. You ain't even got to be. If she was complaining a year ago about Black folks didn't have her back in Hollywood, in Hollyweird, how much less do she think Black folks got each other back in the streets? It's toxic. Like he said, I completely agree with what that brother said. With him and Brother Nuclear. A lot of Black culture that's perpetuated on the media is toxic. And I've seen it with my own eyes, how Black people talk to their kids, how they raise their kids, the music they listen to around their kids, how they are the mindset that they are training up their children in. It ain't all Black folks, but the ones you see on social media, you see a lot of that. The loudest ones on social media are the most toxic. Because the ones that's just living regular lives ain't all on social media loud, trying to go viral. A lot of them just minding their business, raising their families. And you do see a lot of thank God. I say thank God for social media, because if you look hard enough, you see a lot of positive examples of Black families, women just raising their children, enjoying being wives, living good, peaceful lives, training their kids up in the way they should go, teaching them to cook, teaching them to clean, and I'm not just saying just females, teaching them to cook and clean, but teaching their children how to cook and clean. And you see a lot of Black folks out there that are excelling and breaking records with their education and inventions and things. So if you look hard enough, you will find positive examples of the Black community. Unfortunately, what's pushed by the media, which I wouldn't call it systemic racism, but I will call it media propaganda. What is pushed out by the media, a lot of it is toxic culture that is pushed out in the mainstream, because that's what people consume. And the positive stuff, you really have to dig up. You really got to look for. You really got to do some homework and searching for. So, but I mean, and to be perfectly honest, there's some truth in what she's saying, and there's truth, and then there's a lot of truth in what the conservatives are speaking on. So why we both can't be right, I don't know. I don't believe the systemic racism is an excuse for the Black community to not excel. It shouldn't be a reason for us to not push forward and move forward and progress and live peaceful lives without killing each other. It's not an excuse. But to some degree, I understand what Amanda Seals, and in some instances, I do agree that there is some systemic racism in some instances, but it's not in such a degree that Black people can't move forward, is all I'm saying.
Doesn't work. No, it's a big has to be in facts.
You're putting off emotional liberalism.
I am not putting off emotional liberalism. You're putting off unfounded lies based in conservatism.
Misinformation. Remember they did the misinformation thing all summer, where everything conservative did. They said
you're carrying a chain around your neck of an apartheid nation that actively wants to harm Black people and non-Jewish people. But let me bring it back. Let me bring it back.
Selling Black people in Africa,
that was not happening in the context that you're saying.
And they were. She's a liar, because it absolutely was happening. That is exactly how the slaves that were brought here were brought over here, because their own people sold them to the Europeans for trade for weapons or whatever, goods or what have you. They were traded as goods. They were traded for weapons. The Europeans had weapons. The Europeans had guns and things of that nature. So the Africans traded the slaves that they already had as slaves, traded them with the Europeans. It's absolutely a fact. You can read it in the true text. They want to make it seem like them Europeans went over there kidnapping folks. They couldn't go over there kidnapping people. They couldn't hardly stand the climate in Africa to go and hold anybody hostage. I'm reading a book right now. So they traded. It was a business transaction. But Black folks are in denial of that. It's sad.
Let's bring it back.
Black people still sell their own people today too.
I don't know if I'm gonna last.
We're selling our own people.
I don't know if I'm gonna last.
You're probably gonna last with me.
I won't, because your ignorance is so overwhelming.
That's liberal. Y'all start name calling when y'all get defeated in an argument.
You won't have an argument because you keep cutting me off.
Oh, well, that's fine. If they don't let me go back, I made my point.
You didn't make your point.
I made my point.
You haven't made your point. And let me just tell you about your point. You started off saying we believe in hard work.
Yeah.
And we believe in being compensated.
Reparations is not, though. Reparations is not hard work. It's stealing.
That's all I'm gonna watch of that. That is so frustrating watching that, but we're praying for her, praying for all the members, all the people that was in that panel. God bless them for having the balls and the nerve and to go up there and debate. I don't like debates. Y'all will never see me do a debate. I ain't going through all that. I don't got the energy for that. But I like to watch it. That was a good debate. And it was just interesting to see the people think that being loud means you're right. Sad. But we're praying for Amanda Seales. And let me just point out, she did a stand-up special that was excellent. She's not a stupid lady. So this makes me wonder how much of this is for show. Her stand-up series, her stand-up special was hilarious. So it lets me know she's very smart. She's not stupid. So I feel like this is for performance. But whatever. Let me know what you think in the comments, how you feel, your thoughts, any additions, anything you thought I missed, anything you thought wasn't brought up. I want to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to pray every day, all day. Holy Ghost flock. I love you guys. Keep flying with the Most High. Deuces.